Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Energy News Beat Daily Stand-Up. My name's Stuart Turley, President and CEO of the Sandstone Group. It is just nuts out there on the news desk. Let's start with our list of stories today. Iranian oil exports to China are rolling. The West will have to reconsider Russia's sanctions as part of the Ukraine peace deal. There's a lot going on in this story. Diamondback boosts Midland Basin presence with $4 billion acquisition. Holy smokes, Batman. The UK government relaunches Net Zero Council. And just when you thought I'm done with President Trump, nope, here he comes rolling in. Trump's policy deluge is causing a paralyzed oil market. You cannot buy this kind of entertainment. Holy smokes. Let's start with the first one here. Iranian oil exports to China are rolling. Iranian crude oil flows to China have rebounded after a month of crackdown on shipments launched in 2024 from the Biden administration. The Trump administration has threatened to return to maximum pressure. Kepler said in a recent analysis in the return to the maximum pressure campaign against Iran on one of the part of the Washington was likely to weaken oil exports to China for a while. But in the meantime, they're shipping everything they can. Let's roll to the next one. The West will have to reconsider Russia's sanctions as part of the Ukraine peace deal. Ending the conflict could be historic around opportunities for U.S.-Russian relations, the U.S. Secretary of State said Rubio. He's doing a great job out there, and hats off to him. Rubio is right out in the middle of it, and I'm thrilled that the discussions from George McMillan and I on where they were starting to where they are now, really, he was right. George McMillan was right on a lot of things, and I did get notification from some of the world folks out there that it looks like President Trump this is early and it is not talked about in the mainstream media here. Eastern European official has told German newspaper that the U.S. is considering removing some of the troops from Albania, Bulgaria, Croatia, Czechia, Estonia, Finland, Hungary, Lithuania, Montenegro, North Macedonia, and Poland and Romania. That's what this is saying. I have to confirm this, but those are all countries that are been added back in contrary to the President Reagan Gorbachev agreements on NATO that NATO kept adding back in. And if President Trump is considering removing troops from those countries, it seems that President Trump may be looking to go back to the Reagan agreement with NATO on that. That's huge because that could be very bad for the EU and the warmongers. So I think we're going to see some peace coming around the corner on this. And that's hats off to George McMillan. Again, he has been right where the early Trump team was wrong. And so I'm pleased to see that things are moving forward. Diamondback boosts Midland Basin presence with $4 billion acquisition. Diamondback Energy announced a deal today to double Eagle in a acquisition valued about $4 billion, which gives an increased presence in the Midland Basin and the top producing formation of the Permian. This is pretty cool. While there are 407 locations adjacent to our core position, this is largely undeveloped assets, adds high quality inventory that immediately competes for capital. That is outstandingly huge. Hats off. From David Blackman. I got to give David Blackman a shout out. He had in his Substack outstanding information. Andrew Dittmar, director over at Inveris, who I've interviewed several times, said in an email that deal means that Diamondback has taken over the mantle of being the premier large Permian play with broadly comparable scale to Pioneer at the time of its sale. Diamondback's market capitalization with double Eagle value added would amount today roughly $50 billion as compared to the $59.5 billion value of ExxonMobil's buyout of Pioneer. So this is actually a huge story. Hats off to everybody that's been following this. Let's roll to the next story here. The UK government relaunches Net Zero Council. You can't buy this kind of stupid. The UK government is actually floundering so bad with their energy policies and doubling down on net zero. Net zero is not going to happen with our current technology, offshore wind, solar, none of it is going to happen. And so, by them trying to add all this in, the council, co chaired by Energy Secretary Ed Miliband and Cooperative Group CEO Shrine, I don't want to mispronounce your name and I apologize, Korogi Hogg, brings together leaders from some forms of the UK's biggest businesses, charities, and organizations such as trade unions and local authorities. Quite honestly, that sounds like money laundering to me, but that's just me. I don't know that. By working in partnership, we can drive the investment, innovation, and industrial transformation to make the UK a clean energy superpower. You're not going to make it a clean super energy power by relying on grid interconnects on intermittent wind and solar. It's not going to happen. Before I go to the last story here, I'd like to give a shout out to Reese Consulting. Outstanding group of folks. They are very knowledgeable in the United States, and I highly recommend that you reach out to them. And if you're in the natural gas space and you're looking to put in a natural gas power plant, or you're looking for Bitcoin miner and you're wanting stranded gas, or you're wanting to buy and sell oil and gas, these guys are the tip of the spear, so to speak. Give them a shout out. And again, thank you, Reese Consulting, for being the sponsor of the daily podcast. Trump's policy deluge is causing paralysis. I cannot even say it is. I'm laughing at this in the oil market. It is funny because President Trump, I can't keep up with the entire news desk. Trump spent his first weeks in office rallying against OPEC, seeking an end to the war in Ukraine, and threatening tariffs against some of the main crude suppliers in the U.S. All those could have major consequences. The oil market is showing signs of disorientation in face of the sheer volume of new policy stances. I don't think we're done yet. Buckle up and just get ready for some fun things. OPEC Plus producer group continues to keep barrels off the market, which is as a twin effect of lowering supplies long enough to keep a floor on prices. We are still going to be seeing a $80, I believe, an $80 price range for oil. And I believe that that is because there's still not enough money, even though they may be holding back, there's still not enough money invested in oil. And I believe demand, once things get kind of outlined out, Trump's policies become more widely accepted, we are actually going to see a huge, beautiful growth. And I don't do a very good Putin imitation or a Trump imitation, but we're going to have a beautiful global economy once all this gets nailed out. We're going to have peace and we're going to see a lot of large growth opportunity for businesses. With that, like, subscribe, share, and pass this on to your friends, and watch this about 6 or 7 times. We sure would appreciate it. Have a great day.